Jailbreak is a full action packed film set in a prison and follow the story of five policemen entering a prison with a criminal, escorting a criminal, and something happened in the escort. They think it's an easy mission, but something goes wrong, and things turn bad for them. So they're stuck inside, fighting for their life. Well, I moved to Cambodia in 2011 after a spell of 7 years in London. I ended up there accidentally. Actually, I didn't mean to go to Cambodia, but I arrived in May 2011, and I landed in my first job after 2 weeks, two week time on a TV drama. Um, from there, I never left. I fell in love with the country, with the people, and especially give me this opportunity to create a career, which was kind of difficult to cultivate in London. Well, and the main inspiration, there is a few inspiration, and that got us to make this film. I was always been a big fan of all the like Van Damme film, or Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, and all those guys, and also with a new trend that is happening on action film now. They're getting much more exposure. Um, we thought to create something dynamic out of Cambodia, because you don't really hear. There are a couple of a couple of films that every year coming out, perhaps from Cambodia on an international level, but nothing on this kind of genre, non-action. So when I get to Cambodia, meeting also with my good friend Dara, who's playing the lead in the film, um, I start seeing this talent, this hidden talent, this little gems of Asia, and start to cultivate this talent together, and then all the pieces of the puzzle went into place, and JP, Tarot, Loy, and everybody became a team effort, and finally we made this film.
Well, I personally met Jimmy back when he was wrapping up production on Hanuman. At that time, I came in to help out on the design of his poster and talking about marketing. And that's the moment where we talked about um, developing a second film, something where we could push it much further in terms of action. And that's where I showed him this demo reel that I knew from JP, because I knew him from before, and we were like, this guy is Cambodian, working in Hollywood, we need to bring him back and do something with him in Cambodia, you know. And that's a bit how this project started on our end. And the way this film we see would have an impact on the industry is to do. We certainly made sure to do things really differently. The film industry in Cambodia is still very young. It only restarted about 5 years ago when distributors came in the country and the first movie cinemas reopened since the war. And so there's been a really strong wave of new generation filmmakers going out there, learning hands-on and experience promoting films. But it's, like I said, like it's still something that's very new, and a lot of these films mostly there's a strong dominance of horror comedy films because they were commercially more viable, and films are done in of course in the limitations of what is available in Cambodia, you know, like lower budgets, also in terms of experience, manpower, and things like that. And for what we pulled off on Jailbreak is gathering the right resources from every department, sourcing through experience of crews that have worked on Hollywood films that came and shoot in Cambodia, the people who work with Angelina Jolie on her film, getting JP to come in and bring his expertise in stunts, to bring that to a Cambodian stunt team to create these guys. We had our DOP from France, Godefroy. And it was the gathering all these resources together which created the strength of Jailbreak. and show the different ways of making films in Cambodia, showing that how like if people all collaborate, we can make things that are much stronger and have the potential of reaching outside to other countries. And this is what we've achieved. Like obviously, if we're here today in Udine, and I think it's something that hopefully younger filmmakers and generations in Cambodia and other countries, maybe in Southeast Asia, see as an inspiration to dare to do things differently and be ambitious, you know. Well, cinema has become like this new trending activity of entertainment that you go, since it's something really new, it's really quickly grown into the culture and habits of the population in Cambodia now, well, mostly in the capital, Phnom Penh, you know. And I'd say that there's quite a wide range of demographic, because a lot of teenagers would bring their parents because they want to if they want to show their parents and grandparents what 3D technology is, things like that. But obviously, the main target would be teenagers, young adults, roughly, let's say, like 15 to 30. And that would be the main target demographic in Cambodia. As to your question about if we prefer tradition or innovation, I think the challenge is finding the right balance in it. When you're in a country from Cambodia, which has a lot of strong traditions and values, we of course do not want to disrespect that, and something we want to honor. But at the same time, what we try to do with Jailbreak is bring in that something new that will captivate that new audience, that will also attract the attention of foreign countries, because um, a lot of people would mostly know about Cambodia, about Angkor Wat, about different cultural aspects of it, but not necessarily for a booming film industry. And by creating this, by being the first to do action film in Cambodia, we're starting this new wave of things for there.
So before doing Jailbreak, I was doing stunts in London. So this is how I started my career in the industry. I was working, my first job was on Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, which is the official film for Street Fighter. So I went to Bulgaria, I was the stunt double. And then I was working on TV shows like 24, feature films like Now You See Me Too, Cuckoo on for the BBC. What else? Lucy from Luc Besson, action film. So I was back in France for this, and Doctor Strange, when I was part of the main fight team. So my responsibility was to train the actors, help the choreographer to create the fights, train the extras, for the film. And for Jailbreak, I came as a choreographer, actor, stunt coordinator, all this stuff. So of course, because it's a small budget, we need to be multitask and to do as much as possible. That's how teamwork was key on that film, and that's how the action scene looked great on Jailbreak. So yeah, on Jailbreak I had to train people with the help of the great team of Bokator, so which is the Cambodian martial art. So there were more than 10 people, and we all worked together to train the extras to become stuntmen for Jailbreak. So we took maybe like 5 weeks or a little more, and we spent like maybe 6 hours per weekend to train people properly. So that's why the action is great, because they gave so much effort for this.
First of all, I started martial arts since I was 18. That's since 2018. I started martial art, and that time I did only performance, and most of the time I travel abroad only to compete in the festival of martial art with each country. And then I start to turn to the fighting career in 2012. And since then, I just got the first fight, and I said, okay, first fight is enough. I'm not gonna do more because my family don't like it. But since then, I won my first fight, so I kept doing it and pushing myself until 2014. I started to do acting in the movie in film industry, and before Jailbreak, I did. Like the kind of role, I don't know, main actress. Main role in the one movie called First They Killed My Father. They talked about the memory of a little girl that get through of the genocide of the Khmer Rouge and stuff. And I did a little fight scene in that too, that directed by Angelina Jolie. And my big second movie, this Jailbreak, I love the most. So yeah, I'm so happy to bring Jailbreak to Udine in here in Far East Film Festival. Feel honored, and everybody put so much effort on this Jailbreak film. And as he said and they said, we been doing a good job together. And it's kind of hard between the fighting and acting. I thought it would be easy in acting, but to be compared, it's kind of like the same, difficult the same. In performance, we talk first and then we do performance. In real fight, we have to be flexible and be more smart than our opponent, otherwise gonna cut, punch, or knock out, whatever. In acting, we think about the group. So every time we shoot, we have to practice more and then try to remember all the technique that we create. If once we miss, then we have to do it all over again. So it's a hard work, the same thing, but that's all I love, so I keep doing it. All I do is just want to be a good role model to, especially for the women in Cambodia, because they didn't do much sport. Well, right now I can see, because after Jailbreak, the woman kept messaging me, hey, I don't want to be like you, and where can I train the martial art, and what do I do to be a fighter? That's all I want to hear. And I'm so happy to see more women like keep grow up more in social, and especially in like fighting, or even in movie film industry or something like that. So women can show their power, and they can do all work like men do. So yeah, it's feel great. And I just want to say to all the women in the world that we are strong, beautiful, and keep living what you have, like be brave and strong, and keep fighting for your life.
If you watch the film, you see two different styles. My character is supposed to come from France, and the style I practice is Hapkido. It's a martial art from South Korea. It's a self-defense. And so yeah, we're trying to mix these two styles in one film, in very dynamic way of filming. And yeah, that was the goal, to display these both martial arts and make it one. Filmmaking itself is teamwork. And now, if we talk about action, right? That's what we bond a lot with the other stunt people, because we go through fire together. When we do a fight scene on screen, it looks like we're fighting each other, but actually we're fighting together. This is how it works. So we take care of each other. If someone has to fall, we put the mats. So it's proper teamwork, and this is how, through a struggle, in a human, like in social way, right? Through struggle, we bond more. And because we're going through action, it looks like we're going on a battle. It's fake, right? It's a film, but we feel it. We feel it this way. This is how we, and we grow up stronger, with this, and that's how we are so close. We're like brothers. It's a family. People say stunt people are family. And because it's a physical work, we need to care for each other. It is very dangerous. It's a dangerous job, even to do like martial arts. One punch can break your nose in 2 seconds. That's why we need to be so careful and care for each other, care for the actors, care for safety for the crew. And this is how we bond, and this is how we make it a family.
Yeah, the shooting, the production time we had was 34 days. Initially it was 28, so we went a little bit over schedule. We took 5 months of pre-production. with the last 2 months of very heavy pre-production, because we divided the team. One team was building the prison, because of course, we couldn't find a proper prison to shoot, so we found an abandoned school, 10 years old abandoned school, 3 floor, and we dressed it up as a prison there. So most of the film is shot in that particular location, and and then we spent 4 months of post-production. We did a post-production in Malaysia, because unfortunately Cambodia doesn't have a strong post-production yet. I did the cut in Cambodia, but everything else was done in Malaysia. With the camera, with the trick, what to maximize the time in production we had during our rehearsal, pre-production. We shot a lot of previs, we shot a lot of kind of storyboard of the fight scene, so we knew already what we were going to shoot. In a way, if you see on a low budget like this, without like big names, and like our team, our crew, it was easy to actually have that time to being able to storyboard or the fight scene, take our time. Because if we would have like a main actor, who's a very famous actor, maybe we'll give you like only 1 week of time, which wouldn't be impossible to have the whole fight scene down. So there's good things and bad things, but I think for us was still, with the time we had, we managed very efficiently how to maximize what we had into the screen. Sometime of course we face limitation within time, because we didn't spend more than 2 days shooting a fight scene. So a scene where, as we were going throughout the day, we had to cut certain things or modify certain things to fit with the schedule of the time, and obviously. I talked before about the talent, this hidden talent, and there is in Cambodia. Luckily, our team is very, very talented. From the fighters, to the cameraman, to everybody involved. So that helped a lot. The talent, the heart that it was put into the movie helped a lot to get this project as smooth as possible, to get it done as smooth as possible. That I think that was the trick, to have a good heart and a good preparation. I showed some Benigni to a few friends of mine back here in Cambodia. But the Italian cinema I like the most is the old cinema, like Pasolini, Fellini, Antonioni, and of course I grew up watching Dario Argento as well. It was one of a big inspiration for me. The current cinema I'm following a bit. Sorrentino, Garrone, Nanni Moretti, the three Italian directors that I follow the most. I try to research into the scene, what's going on, but it seems is a little bit stagnant. There are not many films which I like that they are being made every year. There still is a little bit like Cambodia in a sense. There's a lot of comedy in Italy, I guess, that are being produced every year, which appeal to the mass media, and I guess that's where all the funding goes. And I'm start looking into Italian independent cinema as well, asking what's going on. And there's only a few titles. I don't know. You probably know better than me on what's going on at the moment in Italy. Well, we are considering now. We need to look at the numbers and at the outcome of Jailbreak this year. How will it go internationally? We are considering a possible sequel if the figure and the production is right. for myself, I'm beginning to develop a pilot for a thriller, a cannibal thriller setting in Cambodia, which we shooting around September, and then see from that how it goes. And coming back from Italy to Italy after 12 years, I've been coming back and forward, but coming back with the film to show with something concrete to show to the in this festival, has been an amazing opportunity. I felt the I didn't imagine how a festival would be, an international festival would be, because it's our for all of us it's the first time that we've been to an international festival, but the hospitality and the vibe, the people, it made me see a different Italy. I left Italy because I couldn't fit with the mentality, with the culture, with the narrow-minded people. But coming back here, I feel like, okay, it has changed, but maybe Italy's changed, and it is very refreshing. I think it's an experience that always stay with me, and I hope to come back here in the future with more films to show eventually.